The problem we have is, I think, this is my fear, we've lost all the good people who could stand up and protect this country so that it goes in the right direction.
Talking about in leadership capacities.
Yes.
But you're one of them. You don't believe you're one of the good people?
I have tried to carry myself and discuss my politics so that Kenyans can understand that it's not that I'm good. It's just that I'm actually scared that the country is headed in the wrong direction. It's not that I have not participated in corruption activities. I have. I'm a Kenyan. Absolutely.
Oh.
Yes. We are Kenyans.
Oh my God!
I may not be your best, and I don't claim to be, but I'm the one you have.
You guys at the top.
Yes.
Senators, MPs, all the way to the president. Do you guys see the videos that Morara Kebaso posts?
Absolutely.
Then, why are we not adjusting?
Doesn't matter. What do you want them to adjust? What do you want somebody to adjust who's able to make 2 billion shillings in a month? And nothing happens to them. We take them to church then. What do you want people to do? At least I'm happy these days they don't travel as much as they used to. I'm happy these days we are driving our one Land Cruiser. They are fearing after the Gen Z scenario. But if you see some of the people that leadership is doing, they're despicable. They're sad. There's actually some of them are just silly. I asked one day, why do you need 10,000 acres of land? I mean,
you tell me.
Why don't we ask, we give you 10,000, you build a city. At least it will employ people, then you build industries. Yeah. Like in Tanzania, you go and do a city like Dodoma. I mean, what is this possession we have as a people, particularly the ruling class, where everybody must become rich quickly and have so much that they don't even know what to do with it? And yet, when you look at our people who are destitute, who are downtrodden, who are sick, they depend on 20 bob to survive in a day. That doesn't bother you. Either there's something wrong with me or there's something wrong with the other side. I seem to believe that there's something wrong with the other side. That you can actually develop this country. You can make sure that basic services are allowed. You can have children from poor families go to school and actually go to the top level universities in this country. You can do good roads. Why? We have the capacity, we have the resources, and all you need is good people to make sure that this is what we do. The problem we have is, I think, this is my fear, we've lost all the good people who could stand up and protect this country so that it goes in the right direction.
Talking about in leadership capacities.
Yes.
But you're one of them. You don't believe you're one of the good people?
I have tried to carry myself and discuss my politics so that Kenyans can understand that it's not that I'm good. It's just that I'm actually scared that the country is headed in the wrong direction. It's not that I have not participated in corruption activities. I have. I'm a Kenyan. Absolutely.
Oh.
Yes, we are Kenyans. But the reality is, let me give you an example, Obinna. See, I've driven from here to Kisii and I'm stopped in Narok. Those police officers stop me. Yeah, they'll always allow me to pass as a senator. But the reality is, if I give him 1,000 bob, it is a bit faster. And it's easier.
That's true.
You understand? So my point is, the young people in this country who are clamoring for good leadership, who are talking about the ideal scenario that Kenya needs to be, must begin to understand. And this is the point I've been making. This country cannot move at the rate at which we are stealing public resources. It's impossible to move. Because 50% of our budgeted revenue, which is 3.33 trillion, which is now, I could say, is about 1.2 or 1.3 trillion shillings, is money that is budgeted for stealing. As a result, we have a budget, we have a debt scenario that we can't manage. In fact, we are borrowing beyond our normal borrowing. We have stopped borrowing for development projects. We are now borrowing to pay debts. And it's through God's grace, at least this is a positive thing I can say about the UDA team, is that the economic fundamentals are okay. Inflation is at 3-4%. You're talking about the price index. Prices have come down a little bit. Fuel, the price has been coming down. But the most critical and fundamental aspect is all this, and you look at our economic growth, we are at 5-6%. But how come nobody's feeling that economic development is taking place? Because the capitalistic elites are consolidating the money and the resources to just a few people. The money is not spreading out.
So I think at the moment, my two favorite senators are this guy and Okiomtata. Before it used to be Sifuna, but how he behaved with this Maandamano and his undying loyalty for ODM, you really have to doubt him to some degree. So this guy has been pure. There are moments where he can say that Raila is wrong for this. There are moments he can say Ruto is wrong for this. Like he stands for his principles rather than the party principles, unlike Sifuna. So most of whatever he's saying is true. Most of us in our country we are corrupt, either directly or indirectly. Most of us have benefited from corruptions. Most people are proceeds of nepotism. So you can't say that there are very good people in Kenya. So whatever he's saying is true. We've benefited from corruption one way or another. If the budget for something is maybe like the Aurora and Kimore, the budget for those two things were close to 23 billion. They stole everything. I feel like if you want to be a thief, maybe you steal the 3 billion and do some work worth the 20 billion, because by the start of the project, it's already overpriced in most of our projects. Let's look at, if you look at SGR, if you look at this thing that Uhuru left, most of those projects are overpriced. So either way, you make good money even by just doing 3/4 the project. But now some of those guys, they don't even initiate the project. And such people will have made good leaders, they will have made good presidents. But people will never elect competence, especially in our country. We can never elect competence. We don't have the capacity to elect competence. So all we are left with is mediocre people to lead us till 2032. Because this thing where people keep saying that Ruto won't be re-elected in 2027 is ni ndoto. Because watu wataelect huyo jamaa. He has a fan base, especially now in Luo Nyanza. He has a very big fan base in Luo Nyanza, Makiu. He has a very big fan base in Western because they believe that they're now in government. People in Nyanza believe that they're now in government. So they'll re-elect to stay in government. Central is sure because of Kindiki factor. So as much as Morara keeps exposing those projects, I don't think our country really care about our funds being stolen. So we'll talk about it for a day or two, then we forget about it. That's the beauty. So it's only relevant once you see it. Then after that, nothing happens. So I came about an article of some girl criticizing Morara, and whatever she was saying that after Morara has exposed some of these projects, then what next? Because the end goal should be he exposes them, then he continuously puts pressure on the government to complete those tasks. Or for the tiny ones, like things like bridges, like you should teach the government on how to do them. The recommend has tried, but I think the Gen Z side is also kind of divisive to a way that they can't come together to teach the government on how to do projects, because that's what Morara should start doing. That these funds people are sending to him shouldn't only for his travel and for his exposures. Some we should use to do actual projects. I think it will give people incentives to donate more, because you'll see where your money went. Because this other thing where you're saying transport, it's an illusion where your money went. But if you give people real purpose on where their money went and the things that their money were used for, I think it will give people more incentive to give, and it will give some purpose to his exposures. So after you find that the government didn't build the bridge, you've exposed the bridge, yes, those people no longer have a bridge. Do you think the government will build that bridge? No, most likely no. And I think bridge is a simpler thing compared to the stadium. You can obviously you can't build a stadium. You can't finish roads. But something like a bridge is something that he can do, and he can show us that he is competent enough to finish a project. So I think his tactics as per now are good, but he can polish them to make them better. And what he needs is to unite the group rather than fighting, because there are too many infighting between him and Makori, between him and that lady of Kenyan Home, between him and Eric Omondi. I think there's too many fights inside there. Like everyone wants to be the leader, and if if it continues like that in 2027, they have no chance. Morara won't have a chance. Eric Omondi won't have a chance. Okiumdata won't have a chance. And the goal should be Ruto must go. But if you don't commit fully to it, he's there till 2032.